What's up guys, it's Alex, and today I've got a pretty cool video for you guys. So today I'm on a little bit of a fishing mission. I'm trying to catch my first bass of 2019. So we're out here, I got the old Bonafide out there. We're gonna do a little bit of kayak fishing today. Honestly, I don't know how well it is gonna go. We have had some really crazy weather lately. We're 34 inches over our total yearly rainfall level. They're just constantly sluicing all the dams. We've had so much just water in and water out of these lakes. They've fluctuated so much lately that it's made it really hard to come out and catch a bass. But we're gonna see what we can get done today. I got a Ned rig, a square bill, and a jig. And I'm really thinking that Ned rig is gonna be a key player because, as you guys know, when the fishing gets tough, you downsize, go super finesse. A lot of the times you can put some bass into the boat. And really, my main goal today is just to catch my first bass of 2019. Anything above that is really kind of a plus, especially in these water conditions that we're dealing with. But nonetheless, we're gonna put the Bonafide in the water. We're gonna see what kind of work we can get done today. Hopefully we can catch a whole bunch of fish, and hopefully you guys will enjoy today's episode.
Me and him finna go try to catch some shell crackers right now.
All right, man. I hope you have a great day.
Good luck, man.
Great to meet you.
I see you on YouTube.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Well, guys, there's the first bass of 2019. Oh, that is funny. Look how small he is. I mean, he's not even as big as my hand, but there he is. First largemouth of 2019. Thank you, buddy. All right, guys, so first largemouth 2019, not even as big as my hand. Freaking hilarious. Actually, I was talking to a guy right here who subscribes to my channel, and I was kind of, just casting around in the back of this little pocket here right in front of this grass bed. That fish was sitting in front of that grass bed, but what was funny is I cast it in there, and I think I was paddling when he bit, not really sure. But I was, almost dead sticking just a little bitty Ned rig with one of those Ned craws or whatever the little Z-Man craw is on there, and that is when he bit. And I mean, he knocked the piss out of it pretty good, tapped it pretty hard. So I'm gonna keep on fishing here. This water clarity is, I wouldn't say it's extremely muddy, but it's not extremely clear either. It's actually really good water clarity. It's just the fact that this water is probably really cold. These fish are moving really slow. But yeah, just a little bit of finesse fishing, a little bit of spinning rod fishing. We'll see if we can put a few more into the kayak. All right, guys, so I am not exactly sure what's going on up here in front of me. This section of the lake is used for rowing, like Olympic rowing, college rowing, team rowing. That's why this place that I put in is called the Rowing Center. So alright guys, so I'm not really sure what's going on up here in front of me right now. The place that I put my kayak in at is called the Rowing Center though, and they actually use this section of river to do like college rowing and high school rowing and Olympic rowing and that kind of stuff, like team rowing events. And right now, I'm not really sure what this is, but the parking lot has completely filled up and there's like a crowd of 150 people like standing around them. So I don't know if they're about to have a rowing event or what's going on or what the deal is, but number one, I don't want to get caught up in that, and number two, I'm not getting very many bites up here in this part of the lake. So I'm gonna pull my kayak out to avoid whatever this mess is up here, and number two, to go switch spots to see if we can catch a few more fish. I'm gonna move further down the lake to a place that you guys are pretty familiar with, that I've fished quite a bit from the bank. I'm gonna put my kayak in there and see if I can get a few bites. The one bite that I did get today, like I said earlier, was on that little Ned rig, so that's what I'm gonna go throw down there. Drag the Ned rig around, maybe throw that square bill a little bit more, and see if I can put a few more fish into the kayak to kind of round out this trip. But yeah, let me get up here, get my kayak put in the truck, and I guess entertain this crowd of people that are standing up here that, I don't know what's going on. So, yeah. Okay, so I got to talk to the camera for a minute. This will stop beeping here in just a second. So I had to paddle something like 300 yards away from where I launched my kayak at, because they're doing some kind of religious ceremony down where I launched my kayak at, and I'm not really sure what's going on, but like there's dudes like chanting, and there's people burning stuff, and they're slinging water on people, and there's people in robes, and like I have no idea. So like I said, I had to paddle like 300 yards away, come down here to this little boat ramp, and now I'm about to pick my kayak up. But honestly, one of the single craziest things I've ever seen is these people down here doing whatever the heck that they're doing. So yeah, I want to load my kayak up. I'm going to go to this next spot, and we're going to see if we can catch some more basses. Yeah, basses. Alright guys, so here we are hanging out in the garage. I got the kayak put up, we got my rods and reels organized, and I thought I would kind of do a review of today's trip, talk about some of the factors that played into it being as tough as it was, and then talk about what I caught my first fish of 2019 on, and why I think how I caught that fish is probably one of the best approaches to fishing the conditions that I was fishing. So let's talk about the factors that played into today's trip. Number one is the rainfall that we've had in East Tennessee. We are 34 inches over our annual rainfall total for the year, and that has caused all kinds of crazy things to go on with our lakes. Number one, we've had a tremendous amount of runoff due to that rainfall. And with that runoff, you get a couple of things. Number one, you get muddy water. So all our lakes around here, not just the one I was on, but all of them are extremely muddy and dirty right now. The second factor is debris and trash. You get all kinds of natural debris, whether that be limbs and logs and leaves and things coming in the lake. But then you get also unnatural debris like, you know, just plastic bags, cups, all that kind of stuff. There was all kinds of stuff floated by me today. There was whole trees floated by me due to just the massive amount of water that had run into those lakes and all that stuff that it brought with them. So that's one big factor. Another factor due to that rainfall is how the dams operate. So the TVA is who operates all the dams around me, and what they're doing right now is called sluicing, which means that they are just constantly letting water run through the dams to help regulate the water level of each lake, so that if there is another major rain event, they can quickly drop that lake down, get it to a level that can take that influx of water into the lake, and they won't have to spill over the spillways of the dams. Because a few weeks ago when this rain started, they were having to spill the dams. I think at one point there was like 180,000 units of water coming out of Fort Loudoun Dam Dam, which is just a tremendous amount of water, and it was being spilled over the spillway. So they start to sluice after these major rain events so that they don't have to do that. You don't have to worry about anything getting tore up or property getting damaged and things like that. So that's the two main factors as far as the water conditions and how those were affected. And then the second factor is the fact that we're post front. So there was a front moved through yesterday into last night, and it brought even more rain, and then behind that front or post front it brought cold weather conditions. And so after the front moved through, we were in the 30s. I woke up with ice on my windshield this morning, but pre-front we were actually high 60s, almost into the 70s. My buddy Eric was wearing shorts and sandals the other day while he was fishing, and then this morning I had to get up and put my down jacket on and my bibs and everything to stay warm. So extreme weather change, extreme temperature change from the 60s and 70s down to the 30s, and then you have a change in barometric pressure. Usually when you go post front, that barometric pressure will shoot up, which causes the skies to be clear. You have the sky, high skies is what we call them, bluebird skies, very, very sunny, not very much cover. And so when you really take the two factors of all that dirty water and the dam sluicing, and then you match that up with that we're post front, high pressure, very clear skies, it is just hard to catch fish. Number one, that muddy cold water is going to make those fish tighten up to cover so that they feel safe. Natural instincts tell them, hey, let's kind of ride this out. Let's not put ourselves in danger. Self-preservation kicks in. They don't really want to eat. They don't really want to do anything. They just want to kind of hang out until that water stabilizes, till those conditions stabilize, and their natural instincts kind of tell them, okay, it's safe. Let's go feed. Let's go about our, daily routine. But until that happens, until that water clears up, a lot of times, like I said, that fish will tuck up to a piece of cover, whether it be a dock post or riprap or a rock or a limb or something, and they'll just hang out. And you have to hit them right in the head with whatever you're throwing to get them to eat, because they're not going to move to eat it, because number one, they can't see it, but number two, they just aren't going to move because of that self-preservation. And so I downsized that, and that's kind of how I tackled today's conditions. I thought today would be a perfect day for me to get, number one, better at throwing the Ned rig, and number two, to be very slow and finesse, because number one, I'm in the kayak, number two, we had the conditions that we had, and so I thought, what better opportunity than to practice throwing this little thing. And that's what I caught my one little fish on today. I caught it on this little Z-Man 1/6 ounce Ned rig head paired with the little Z-Man TRD crawl, and this little thing is an absolutely wicked bait. I was messing around with it in some water that I could see the bottom in today, and when you would drop this thing down, it would set up just like this with the claws in the defensive position because of how buoyant it was. And a lot of the times I didn't even have to impart action on it. The current of the water moving across the claws would just give it a very, very subtle action and make it look kind of just like our crawdad in the defensive position. And today when I caught the fish that I did, I actually threw up next to a grass bed. Again, a perfect example of where a fish could hang out, tuck up to that grass bed, feel safe. And I think I went to move my kayak or move something, and I was kind of just dead sticking this bait, and I felt the line hop, and that's when that little fish had it. Got a couple more bites today when I threw up right next to a piece of cover. And what I think actually happened there is because that crawl sits up in the defensive position, those fish would grab those claws, because when I would set the hook and get it back, there would be that little separation there, which tells me that those fish were probably short striking this thing, probably just trying to eat the claws off or something before they actually ate the whole entire bait. And again, it can be they're trying to eat the claws off, or they're just being super finicky because of the conditions that we were having. Now I had that little Ned rig paired up with some 6-pound P-line copolymer to 15-pound braid on my 7-foot medium G-Rock Game Changer spinning rod with my Lew's Mach 2 speed spin 6:3 gear ratio, and I have fell in love with this little finesse setup. It does everything really, really well. Whether it's throwing a Ned rig, spy bait, shaky head, all those kinds of things, it does it really well. But like I said, when you're facing conditions like I was facing today, whether it be cold, muddy water, or it be post-frontal, high skies, high pressure conditions, a lot of the times you're going to have to downsize, and you're going to have to hit those fish right in the head, and you're going to have to find whatever cover they may be orienting to. I've seen days where they just orient to wood, they just orient to grass, they just orient to rocks, or they orient to anything that they can put their back up against and feel safe and feel like they've got something over their head and that they're in a position where they're not going to get attacked by another game fish or something like that. And like I said, it's a lot of self-preservation on the fish's instincts part that make them act like that. But yeah, I had fun today. It's always awesome to get out, awesome to get my first bass of 2019. As small as he was, he still counts. And just enjoy the beautiful weather that we had today. Even though it wasn't exactly beautiful for the fish, it was an absolutely gorgeous day, and got to hang out on the water and just do my thing. The next week is going to be kind of crazy. Probably won't get to fish a whole lot. I got to do student teaching Monday through Friday every week until summer break this semester, but after this semester I'm done. And then this weekend I'm actually heading up to Philadelphia for the Angler Summit, which you guys won't be able to see any of, but you will see the results of once we get done there, because we're going to be bouncing all kinds of ideas off each other and really streamlining the app for you guys to be able to enjoy. But yeah, that's today. That's what happened. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Any questions or comments, please go leave them in the comment section down below. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. That notification bell will let you guys know when I put out all of my videos. Also, go down in the description. I have links to my partners like G-Rod, Lew's, AFCO. You guys can check out the clothes that I wore, the rods and reels that I use. All of it will be linked down below. But as always, you guys are sweet. And thank you for watching.